2 minutes over. That's not bad.
No.
Hi, you guys. Welcome back to the Fumble Live. We have a full docket today, as usual, so make sure you're subscribed to our channel, tap the bell for notifications, give this video a thumbs up, leave a comment below, and share it with your friends. Here is the Fumble Squad. I'm Devin Howard. You can find me on Instagram as @DevinHoward. Chris?
It's your boy Chris. You can find me everywhere at CK2K.
What's up, everybody? It's your girl, Jackie Ray. You can follow me everywhere at JRay the Fanatic.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's your girl, Britt Johnson. You can follow me on all social media at I am Britt Johnson.
All right, you guys, let's jump right into this first news story. I feel like my stories today are a little long, so I don't want to take up too much time. So Dame actually spoke about Melo, and he said that it's disrespectful for people to undervalue Carmelo Anthony. So Melo made two big plays in the final 3 minutes of last night's game that let Portland take home the win. After the game, he talked about his impressive performance and said, quote, "Honestly, I don't think you lose that. If you have it, you have it. It's something that you have to want. You have to be willing to put yourself in those situations and enjoy those moments. Take those shots and believe that you can make those shots." And then so Dame spoke about Melo and how everybody had low expectations for him, and he doesn't think that's okay. He said, quote, "When we got him, everybody had something to say about him, what he's going to do defensively. He's getting older. He's done. Where is he going to fit in? But he came to us, and he was just like a laid-back, good teammate, good for our younger players. On the floor, he's talking whether he's having a good or bad game. He's just all about the team." He added, quote, "He understands what we need from him in certain situations, depending on how the game is going. It's obvious to somebody like me that he pays attention to everything. I find it real funny and disrespectful how people speak on him. He's a Hall of Famer." Britt, do you think it was wrong for people to be skeptical of Melo's abilities going into the season?
No, because Melo has kind of let all of us down at some point in time in our life. Like, we've all been kind of let down by Melo, so I can see why people would be, have a speculation that he's not going to be good. But I personally always liked Melo and believed in him, but he does, at some point, he's let somebody down on this panel. Like, whether he was with the Knicks or whether he was with the Denver Nuggets, he's let everybody down. OKC, whatever. So he's let somebody down at some point. So I understand why people thought that. I actually really liked what Dame said during his post-game interview when he was on the court, and he was like, "Listen, we brought him here because we know his value and we know what he's worth, and he is a Hall of Fame player, and he's this great guy, and we gave him the ball because we know he can make that shot." So I like the confidence that they had in Melo, and I think that's what kind of has elevated Melo to, literally the moment he made that second shot, it was like he was so happy. He had this big old smile on his face. Everybody was rooting for him. Yesterday, can I just say, it was the best game I've seen in the bubble thus far, that Houston Rockets and Portland Trailblazers game. I thought it was going to be a high offensive scoring game. That was a defensive game. It was so gritty, so good. I thought I was watching a game 7 yesterday. It was a great game. And so for Melo to have that moment in that moment was amazing. It was beautiful. And I think it's because his team has so much confidence in him. And I think some other places he's gone in the past, the confidence level wasn't there. But I mean, we all knew Melo could do it. But again, he has let us all down.
He is a polarizing player, one of the polarizing players in the NBA, but I'm with you. I think that what it takes is the vote of confidence from his teammates to really be able to shine and just like not be distracted by any of the negativity or the negative headlines that surrounded him. So Chris, I want to go to you for my next question. Do you feel Melo does deserve all this praise from Dame?
Yeah, I definitely do believe he deserves all the praise from Dame. I mean, I'm out here. I was going in yesterday. I got my Three to the Dome sweatshirt on. I was hyped up like he was in a Knicks jersey all over again. I was just that excited about it because of, like you had previously asked Britt, everybody was killing this guy before he even got a contract this season. And Britt does make a very good point. He has let a lot of people down in a lot of divisions, but that doesn't take away from the fact that he is everything that Dame said he is. He is a Hall of Famer, and he is the guy that is going to make the shot and make and take advantage of big moments, especially when he's on a team full of talent. That's why I'm giving some passes, because the Knicks, he didn't have much talent. But man, I was so excited about it. I think he deserves everything he got from Dame. I think Dame hit everything on the head. Like he said, everybody was so worried about him being a bad teammate or going and worrying about his minutes and stuff like that. And the minute he came on the team, he was all about the team, and you can see that on the court. So yeah, Dame hit it on the head. He deserves all the praise he got because it was warranted. Because not only was his shots big, he played some defense at the end of the game. So I was happy. I loved it. That's my guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he killed it. Now, Jackie, I would just love to hear your reaction to this game in general, and specifically Melo's performance.
First of all, I thought Melo looked great. He looked young and at heart. You know, he looked happy. He was out there killing it. Like Britt said, I don't want to say he let me down, but we sucked really bad. You know, I'm from Denver, you guys, and so when he came to Denver, Denver's Bronco country. That when he arrived, that was the first time the Nuggets all of a sudden were getting the same amount of attention as the Denver Broncos, where he did skyrocket the tickets so you can no longer get in for free, but that's a whole nother story. But 7 years he was with us, and he didn't average, less than 20 points that entire time. He kind of pissed me off when he left and came back for a year, and then he went to the Knicks, and I'm like, okay, what the hell is that about? But, same thing. He didn't average under 20 points with the Knicks. I personally thought that being in New York, please don't look at me any kind of way, Chris, it kind of sucked a little bit of the life out of him. That is a bad organization to be in, and I just thought that
this is a
sucked
whole
the life out of him a little bit.
Reckless like that. That is a
I'm
just
it's not this. Oh my
god!
It
sucks.
New York does that.
It does. It's the NBA version of purgatory, Chris. I'm sorry, but it sucks the life out of you a little bit. So I am glad to see this new life in Carmelo Anthony. Don't come on, Chris. Don't act like what I'm saying ain't true. Come back to the mic and say yes, Jackie.
Like what you say is not
right.
true, because half of
yes,
his career in New York, he was in the playoffs. We were a third seed because of him for 3 seasons. So I'm not co-signing it.
It's
like a octopus on your neck, and it just sucks away at your life.
New York is like basketball mecca of the world. So it's just like the stakes are so high there, and they had so much good talent, like high school wise, come out of New York. So I think it's just like people just feel like there's a spotlight and a shadow just over them and just dwelling on them all the time, waiting for them to mess up. And there's so much pressure going to New York, but then it just never delivers. So people just always end up in this like space where they're just like
you're
Patrick
not wrong,
Ewing,
right? 100%.
He just never gets it done in New York.
Britt's not wrong,
but I never.
She just said the politically correct version of what I said.
No. First of all, you went and said that he just went in there and was just like a Debbie Downer, and then Melo was never the fault in New York. I don't feel like he could have left and gone to the Blazers way earlier when everyone thought he was going to go to the Blazers or the Bulls.
He should have left earlier.
You know what? Selfishly, I'm glad he didn't, but realistically, basketball, we could say that he should have. But anyways, all I'm saying, I just don't feel like it was Melo's fault. I feel like it was the Knicks, as it always is, fault. If we didn't trade from, trade all of our young pieces, not Melo. I feel like he's one of the only players that it did not wear him down. He was still playing big time. It's just the Knicks were not he didn't have good teams around him.
So you invest your heart and soul into an organization. You stay there. Yeah, you stay at a crappy organization because you want to be there. I think we can all co-sign and say we could tell that Melo wants to be there, but it was still a crappy organization. And so it literally, that has to hurt your heart. That's like being in a bad relationship with somebody ain't never going to get a damn job. It sucks the life out of you a little bit. And I'm telling you, that's what happened to your boy.
Yeah, Phil Jackson, thanks a lot, buddy.
The Stephon Marbury documentary, but it said it all there.
It's great. But
said it all there. He wanted so bad to go back home to New York, and New York sucked the life out of him. Then he left and went to China and has never came back again.
Dang, you left the country.
Look, Melo had some bad teams. Stephon Marbury had trash teams. He had high school teams on Stephon Marbury's side.
Let's move on, Chris. I'm going to spare you from any more dragging. We're going to talk about Lou Will again. So he is speaking out about his trip to the Magic City Gentlemen's Club again, just after he made his return to the Clippers lineup for their game against the Suns. He said, quote, "In hindsight, I think as far as the public safety issue goes, I probably could have made a better quality decision. I was a little naive in that aspect. I went somewhere after a viewing of somebody I considered a mentor, somebody I looked up to, the first black man I've seen with legal money in my life." And then he added this. There's a clip that Leo is going to throw up for you guys right now for you all to see. So, Leo, whenever you're ready. Oh.
And the funeral home was a couple blocks away from one of my favorite restaurants. It's been documented how much I talk about this place, how much I eat there, and so I just did something that was routine for me. I frequent that place at that time of day, 5:30, 6 o'clock in the afternoon. I thought at the time I was making a responsible decision. After looking back on it, with everything going on in the world and the pandemic, maybe it wasn't the best quality decision. So, I chalk it up as that. Take my L and keep moving.
What happened while you were away, and what the last?
So we can actually move on now from here. So he also talked about how difficult it was to deal with the death of a loved one and his family. He said, quote, "It's extremely difficult. At the end of the day, I truly was grieving 2 weeks ago. I was really going through something. All the attention turned to Magic City because it's a gentleman's club. I feel like if it was at a steakhouse or Hooters or whatever, it wouldn't be half the story, but it is what it is. It was just difficult to go through that." And he also said that he hopes fans are not too hard on Montrez and reminded everyone that athletes are humans too. And it's sad that we need that reminder, but I think a lot of the times when you see people in the public eye, it's easy to view them as being not quite as human as we all are. So Jackie, I want to go to you for my first question. Did you feel it was necessary for Lou Will to acknowledge this incident again?
Yes, just so we can stop talking about it and move on. I never thought it was a big deal from jump, but obviously it's something we're going to continue to talk about, especially as other, leagues are experiencing the coronavirus and our focus is on safety. But I'm glad he addressed it. I thought he addressed it perfectly. And, I hope this is the last time he has to answer questions about it. I hope none of these strippers come out and say, "Oh, he tipped me well," and I'm telling. I really just want to just move on from this situation and, let him get back to basketball. Let him do his thing, because I'm over this topic.
Yeah. So, Britt, I want to ask you, do you feel critics were too quick to react negatively to this news before hearing from Lou himself?
Yeah, we always do that because we have such quick access to people, and the second the post goes up, nobody wants to ask what the situation is or what's blah blah. They just kind of want to run with it, and that's just how our society is. So I don't know. I'm not surprised everybody said something right at the beginning, but Lou did address it at the beginning and tweeted that it was his favorite restaurant, and that's where not restaurant, but favorite place to get wings and stuff, and that's where he got his wings at. So it is what it is. This was his first game back, so I know that there were going to be questions asked about it again, where he, not just a tweet, he is going to have to say it in public. He did, so it should be squashed now moving forward. Also, whoever was the camera person in that setup and set that camera
It was
up,
me.
you gave that
It was
much headroom. Like, Chris is always the one that's sitting low and stuff.
It was
And I'm
me.
just like,
I did it.
That's Chris for sure.
I did. I set it up.
Too much headspace. Come on. You guys are looking at journalism over there.
Right, you were totally right. It was way too much headspace up there, headroom.
Right.
But yeah, I think that hearing from Lou, hearing it in his own words as opposed to a tweet, hopefully will put an end to these conversations. Jackie, I'm with you. I hope they don't, no strippers come out and say, like, actually, I gave him a lap dance or whatever it is. Like, I think that we just don't even need that anymore.
Did. A stripper
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't want any more.
Yeah.
I don't want any more.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And if you do come out, say he didn't tip you, at least. Don't be like, "Oh, he tipped me so well." Then if he tipped you so well, that is code for shut the hell up. That's what that means.
Right. You got a tip that we want to quiet. See, Tiger Woods didn't tip girls, so that's why
there it is.
There it is.
But
Right? I know, it wasn't even a negative news story with what that stripper said. She was like, we danced for him from 6 feet away and he tipped well. It's like, okay, why are you even talking then? There's nothing to even say there. So Chris, I want to go to you again for this final question. What do you think about Lou Will opening up even more about his trip to Magic City? Like, what's your reaction to it? Did you feel it was necessary?
Ugh, I wish I had a reaction. I really didn't. I'm like Jackie and Bristol. I'm just so over to get. I'm just ready to get over this whole thing. Like I said, I stand by what I said. I stand by what we have said on this panel. Everyone grieves the way that they grieve. You know what I'm saying? So I have no problem with him handling the way he's handling. I think the apology was more so for his teammates than for anybody else, and I respect that. So I have nothing else to add to that. The only positive that came out of this is his new nickname, because I love calling him Lemon Pepper Luka. It just makes too much damn sense. And other than that, I'm ready to move past it. I'm ready for him to get back on the court for the Clippers. I'm over it. I'm done with this. So, but for him to say what he said, good for him. More for the Clippers than for anybody else, and I think that's fair. So.
Yeah. And to your point, Chris, like with him saying it for his teammates, I think really he was saying it for Trez, because there was a part that wasn't said in the thing where he spoke about Trez, and he was like, I hope you guys understand Trez is dealing with what he's dealing with, just like I did, just like Patrick Beverley did. And when he comes back, I don't want you guys to be asking him questions. Hopefully he doesn't have to deal with asking questions and having to respond to stuff the way I have and whatever the case is. And Trez hasn't returned. And yesterday, Doc Rivers was asked about it, and he said, I haven't had an update, but when he's ready, he'll come back. So I think the team's just really trying to make sure they get behind him. And I think that's why Lou re-mentioned it again.
Yeah, I like that he was protecting his teammate. I did like that. I felt like his statement had a lot of sincerity, and it was really well said. But on that note, that wraps up Need to Know News. So Chris, take us into the post up.
Oh, it's time already for post up with your boy Chris. Quarantine edition. Yes. Oh, well, I didn't want to be the first one to bring this up. I thought we were going to talk about it earlier on the show, but we didn't. So, Britt, do not fight me. I'm sorry, but I have to talk about what else happened yesterday. And that was the incredible shot made by Devin Booker that was seen across the NBA world. It was a great shot. And the thing is, for me, what makes it such a great shot, not the fact that it was a game winner, is can we get the picture up? Is how good of defense Paul George was on Devin Booker, and for Devin Booker to still make that shot. I feel like Paul George has seen this before, but I don't know about you guys, but when I look at this picture, Devin Booker's shot is cool, but look at all the fans in the stands. Yeah. I swore I saw Jackie Ray in the top right. I thought that was Jackie up there. I'm like, what's Jackie doing watching the Clippers? Hold on, just something we need to know. But no, it's not Jackie. I was like,
I would have told you. I'd have been like, here I come.
Can you believe what I just saw? Anyways, but my favorite one too. I know you can't see it, but there's a chick with the I think it's a little guy with the cap right behind Devin Booker head, looking away like, oh my god, I can't even look at this, because they knew. Yep. Everybody was worried about what happened, and it happened. And you know what? Nothing against the Clippers, because let's be real, Clippers don't need these games. They lost, so I'm sure Britt's looking at this like, cool, good shot for Devin Booker. Moving on, but for Suns fans, this is a big game because they're hot, and this boy Devin Booker is hotter. He's the reason why the Suns are taking full advantage of this bubble. They're trying to put themselves in the best position. Unlike the Pelicans, they're out there winning all their games and doing everything they can to get into that play-in game, hopefully for them. And that was a good opportunity for them last night. So that being said, the Suns celebrated the way they celebrated after this made shot. And here's that video. Look at Monty in it too. Look at Monty. I also just want to quickly say that this was a little bit more warranted, because the last time teammates were celebrating around Devin Booker was when he scored 70 points, but that was in a loss. At least this time they won the game, so I'm gonna let this one slide a little bit. I'm just gonna move on. I'm gonna leave you alone, Brett. We just leave it as it was. Like I said, not an important game for the Clippers, so it's all good. We just gonna move past it. Leave it alone. We're gonna not talk about it again. But what we are gonna talk about is the Blazers after the fact, because we talked about the Blazers having a big game, and I do co-sign with Brett earlier saying that game was probably the best game in the bubble so far. But also, that being said, the Blazers and the Rockets have both been probably the Suns too, give them an asterisk, have been the two most entertaining teams in the bubble right now. All the Rockets games that have been played were all hella entertaining. Same for the Blazers. All their games were entertaining. So it just made sense for when they came together, that game that we saw last night, what happened. So it was entertaining. That was, definitely Game 7 vibes in that game. So I'm hoping that the Blazers get that 8th seed, but we'll see what happens with that. All that being said, though, after the game, we talked about how Damian Lillard and CJ McCollum were having their little treat yourself ice bath chill sesh before their game on Friday. Now, after this game at 1 a.m., the team was getting together and they were having another ice bath sesh. Thank you to Yusuf Nurkic recording the whole entire thing. So, we can run the video.
Lord, my style.
I just want to know how many filters Yusuf Nurkic uses. Watch all the filters.
Bro, get in, bro. Bro, get in, bro. Bro, fat man.
Filter two.
Bro, get in, bro. Baba life. 1 a.m. cold tubs, bro.
1 a.m. cold tubs, bro.
Wait, oh.
Filter 3. Filter 4.
Hey, nothing better than 1 a.m. ice tub.
1 a.m. ice tub, baby. Who wants to be great? They all want to be great, but they want to put
What time is it?
Dame's not playing. What time is it? Dame's like, nah, I ain't got not right now, man. This thing's too damn cold. But yeah, that's funny. We're gonna call the Blazers the ice bath. I don't know, man, but they just loving their ice baths. This is the second time we have a video on post up of them in their ice baths, but this one was definitely warranted because they won the game. I was looking for Melo, but I guess he probably wanted to avoid the ice bath because he was so hot after the end of that game. Melo, baby. So I was so hyped about that shot. Anyways, moving on. We got a little bit of first of all, I've been trying to find this fit, not for myself, but I just want to know if it was available for as long as I have known this fit. And the fit I'm talking about is the Michael Jordan Olympics outfit that he had on. We know the famous shots of him walking the streets, and you saw the poster of himself hung up, and he was wearing that dope. Right there, this one right here. So he had this dope fit, and that was, he was filming them. We saw it in what's called Last Dance. Tons of documentaries. We've seen this. It's famous. We know it. But for what I don't know how, but Tim Hardaway Jr., who is a Jordan athlete, found it. I don't know if MJ said, I got the plug, let me hit you up. But Tim Hardaway Jr., he was rocking it. I like it. Different colors, but it was still the same fit. Look, I say what I say about Tim Hardaway Jr. on the court, but off the court, I gotta say he was swagging with it. This was before the game yesterday, and I had no problems with it. Everybody was giving him W's on Twitter. People were trying to find out how he found out, but again, like I said, he's a Jordan athlete, so he probably has the plug, and MJ probably hooked him up. MJ, especially since it's not the same color, so MJ's like, I can get you, but you ain't gonna wear the same thing I wore. So, but anyways, looking good with it. I had no problem with this. I thought it looked dope. So Tim Hardaway Jr. out there swagging in the bubble streets. Now going back to a conversation we had yesterday, and I guess not a lot of people listened to J. Cole's album because everybody's taking this damn tweet from the Pistons too damn serious. Now we're going to Devontae Green, who, for those who may not know, is Danny Green's younger brother who played for Indiana. He put some tweets out, and I don't know if I'm taking it serious yet. He did put out a following tweet to let people know that it was a joke, but people are still in their feelings a little bit about Devontae Green's tweet. He first tweeted out this one saying, I would have considered being a rapper if I knew if I knew it got you free NBA tryouts. Ha 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 ha. But people were going in on him. Then people were saying, stop being so salty. Wham, 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 blah, 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 blah. To the point where he felt like he had to tweet this out in response after all the hate he was getting, saying, if you know me, you know there's no hate behind this tweet, LOL, but feel free to keep trolling so I can laugh some more. Now, like I said, when I saw the tweet, I applauded the Pistons because I just saw them actually paying attention to J. Cole's lyrics. But I'm clearly saying nobody really listened to J. Cole's last album, especially this song because it wasn't one of his singles. It's just one of those album songs. It's my personal favorite on the album, and all my homies like, it's not that great of a song. Well, look at it. Now it's making headlines. But all that being said, Brett, I'm gonna come to you. Do you feel like there was a bit of truth in Devontae Green's Twitter post, even though he's putting that it was not meant to be anything serious? Do you think there's a little bit of truth to the tweets they put out?
I think there's always some truth. There's always a little truth juice that comes out. I think it's when you tweet. I think it's when you drink, I think it's when you like send some little messages. Like there's always some truth to it. I think it's when you make jokes. There's always some truth to it. Always. Or you wouldn't say it. If there's no truth to anything, you wouldn't post it. It's always some underlying thing that's like, oh, you're trying to get somebody a little bit, or you're trying to say something, or it's always truth to it.
Yeah,
Period.
we got you. It's okay, Devontae. Look, I'm not gonna give the hate, but yeah, come on, it's okay. We understand there's a little bit of salt there with that tweet, but it's okay. It's understandable. It's fine. That being said, speaking of
I like petty. I like a little salty.
Petty and salty. It's only salt and pepper. But look, moving on to Mo. Oh my god. Mo Wagner. Now, I feel bad for this guy because I feel like it's enough pain to be on the Washington Wizards as it is. But my man added on to it by going and getting acupuncture for the first time, and I felt like I was watching something out of this, something out of the 40-year-old version with the way he was reacting to getting acupuncture, and it was actually pretty hilarious. So watch this video right here.
Oh, it went right in my. Vito. That's right.
It's not supposed to hurt.
It's not that bad. I've gotten it before.
I thought it didn't hurt.
It does.
I've never had it before. What's happening right here then?
That was a very guy moment because guys be crying over any little thing. They just have no brain or pain threshold like women do. It's just little pump.
But it was around, the chest area. That's a sensitive area in that.
He said it
so can we give him a
soul? That's what he said.
No, it does not. There's some fat and muscle there. You should be good. Like I've literally gotten them like everywhere on my face, my whole body, like everywhere. Stop it. I've got
all right. I'm about to go get
like, inside my ear right there. Like, come
on.
Why?
No.
It's good for you.
Terrible, right?
Yeah.
No, it's good for you.
Oh, is that what it does? That's what it does?
Yeah.
All right, so Chris, it's only me and you who can't relate to this at all. So I feel like we're just gonna have to go try it, so then we can come back and revisit this. We can't try it now, I guess.
Yeah,
but,
I'm not opposed to try. Right. Well, obviously you can't try it now. We ain't in a bubble. Yeah, I'm not opposed to trying something once, but yeah, I always figured that there's such small needles that it wouldn't. But you was acting like they were using like sewing needles or something like that, or like daggers.
You could have a needle phobia. He could, there's those people that even if you bring out the needle, they're like, even if you just bring it out. So maybe he's got a needle phobia.
I hate needles. I hate them. Acupuncture is fine. This annoys me. This is so annoying to act like it hurts.
I can tell you triggered.
See, I guess because I love kind of like pain a little bit. Like I'm good with pain. Like I love getting shots. I always watch them when they're doing the shot. I love seeing it go in, and like I'm just. Yeah. And then when I got all these ear piercings at the same time, the guy was like, "Are you sure you don't want to do one at a time?" I was like, "No, let's do all of them." And he was like, "Oh, I've never had anybody get all at the same time." But and they just jammed it in there. Yep.
For anybody who wants to ever doubt, if anybody wants to ever doubt Brett is a real Clipper fan, we just learned that she just said it herself. She likes to go through pain, so now we know she's a real Clipper fan. So she deserves,
fan, guys. Come on.
Right? She deserves all of the victories that they're getting right now. That's hilarious. I don't think I would act as extra as Mo did, but man, the way it was just one needle, and he was there. He was like, "Oh, you poke him a soul!" Like, oh my gosh! But I guess the Wizards aren't doing enough pain for him. So I mean, whatever. All right, so we have a little bit of a saga here. I feel like it's not post up if I don't have a little bit of some kind of like underlining saga / drama. Ladies and gentlemen, it seems like another burner account has been found. I need a burner account alarm because we found another burner account. This one, yeah, we need one. Yes. There it is. Burner account alarm has been set, and this one is going in the NFL for good old boy Derek Carr. Now, allegedly, this Twitter user found Derek Carr's burner account. He said, guys, I'm 99% certain I found Derek Carr's burner account. Someone only tweeting about Derek Carr and Fresno State. Now, some of these tweets, I can't say I disagree. It might be him. So we're going to go down these tweets here right now. And we're going to let you guys decide if you feel like this is just a really obsessed fan or if this is Derek Carr himself. So, Leo, if we can get it started with this next one. All right. So the same Tom was tweeting out this about Derek Carr not being a great quarterback, blah, 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 where Joyce Frost responded with some hate. Oh, it's being covered. You guys can't see it. But it was just saying, basically just saying, honest question, do you understand football or do you just troll? Question mark. I feel like Tom's original tweet wasn't even that bad, but Jace Frost, is a little bit in their feelings about this tweet. But anyways, that's a light one. We're going to keep it going on to the next tweet. This one was more people who were talking about Derek Carr and who they should that they should be moving on to Mariota. I think some of us have said that here on this panel, but Jace Frost is not a fan. One said Gruden gonna spider Y2 banana and Viola 8 gonna be right. I don't know, that's a play obviously, but 8 gonna be right there, and that's for Mariota, saying that Mariota is gonna be the starter, and Jace Frost saying trolling, right? This next one came from Chase Dog saying, when Derek Carr loses the job, the league is finito. And it's a picture of Marcus Mariota. Jay said, you're trolling, right? First of all, if this is you, Derek Carr, my God, like, did you just learn what trolling is yesterday? Like, are you just so proud of yourself? Like, oh, this is trolling, right, honey? Got him. Anyways, moving on because it doesn't stop there. This next one is another tweet saying, hashtag Derek Carr saying he's tired of being disrespected despite being a 7th-year QB who's never won a playoff game and never had to face even the smallest amount of competition. It's Mr. Rogers with the clown face on. Jace Frost coming right in it. Guess what, guys? He used the word trolling again. He said, are you trolling or do you just not know football? Honest question. I feel like it's the same responses every single time, but whatever. This is the most boring burner account if it really is him. And anyways, let's keep going through this. Another one. Keep going. We got Fresno. Now here's the Fresno State one. Now Fresno State dropped, I thought they were pretty fire jerseys. They just got sponsorship with Adidas, so people were showing that off. Obviously, Fresno State hater came in and said, because they can't win, so why not, with the shrug emoji, get a bunch of money to go to get blown out by big teams, and that's how they choose to use it. Now, say what you want to say. They did just get a deal with Adidas. Britt, stand down. Okay, it's okay. Just a hater. Just let him live. It's all right. Don't fight him. But Jace Frost got your back. Jace Frost said, or because they switched. Well, all right. I didn't know we were saying it. Or because they switched to Adidas. But don't let facts slow you down. All right, moving on. I don't know what that's supposed to mean. I don't know what facts were there, but sure, okay, got him. Go ahead, Jace. You on a roll right now. Anyway, so it gets really repetitive. This one right here, though, if it turns out to be Derek Carr, could be the one that might get him in some trouble. Not get him in trouble, but makes him look a lot worse than he actually looking at, because a lot of people, like I said, were hoping that Marcus Mariota takes the starting spot from Derek Carr, and Jace Frost is not a fan of it. He said, LOL at the Mariota love. Carr haters are clueless. So, all that being said, there might be another one. I'm not sure. Even if there isn't, it's fine. If we can get the next one. Yeah, okay, perfect. So, all that being said, after Jace Frost was called out by my man Tom, Jace Frost deleted his account, which is suspicious, and Tom is definitely feeling very confident that he found Derek Carr's burner account, because then with this tweet coming out and with it getting as much traction as it did, why would Jace delete his account if it was just some guy named Jace? Because I know if I'm just a huge Derek Carr hater, or whatever. If I'm a huge Derek Carr lover and I'm saying all this stuff and I get called out, I'm gonna come back and be like, ha, idiot, you must be trolling. I'm the real Jace Frost. I'm not Derek Carr. You must be a troll. Hashtag trolling. That's why I was said, because obviously I just learned what trolling means yesterday. But anyways, I have a question. So with all those tweets and the very whack responses, now we know that Derek Carr is a very, he's a Christian dude. He's a very, I don't think trash talking is his forte. Do we believe that this is in fact Derek Carr, his burner account, especially, was Derek Carr's burner account, because it is now gone? I'm gonna start with you, Jackie. Do you think that Derek Carr was out here pulling a Kevin Durant in the NFL?
I'm not gonna give him Kevin Durant, because Kevin Durant's burner account is actually pretty good. He has a pretty good clapback.
Right.
So no, it's definitely not Kevin Durant, but it might be beginner status, like 7th grade burner account. I think Derek Carr is kind of corny. Like you said, he's super Christian, so I could see him being like, oh no, they got me, let me delete it, instead of like trying to clap back, because he only knows the trolling comments. So my vote is yes, this is Derek Carr's burner account. Because otherwise he would have clapped back and said, what do you mean? This is my picture with me, my wife, and my dog. It's totally me. So yeah.
Right. Stop trolling.
Derek Carr.
You have to add trolling. Every tweet has to include trolling. You missed the trolling part. But Britt, all right. Yep. I mean, we need to solve this case. So you think that this is the perfect sign of a Derek Carr burner account, or do you think this is just an obsessed fan?
There is no sign of Derek Carr in this, because Derek Carr never uses the football emoji. Like, I follow Derek Carr, and he always uses the crying, laughing emoji on everything. Like, he puts that, or like the shrug thing on everything. He didn't use any of those, not once, and he never uses the football emoji. So just putting 2 and 2 together based off how he writes and stuff, I just don't see it being Derek Carr. I went to Fresno State as well. I know that there are some weirdo people there. There's also a lot of great people there, but I can see it just being some random weird fan, because I have people that will literally like go to bat for me and go on everybody's page and be like, Britt's the best. What are you talking about? And they'll just do that. And it'll be some little troll account. It might be some like little random kid or whatever, but they will go to bat, and I'm not even Derek Carr. And the Carr family, because his older brother David went to Fresno State as well, and his older brother literally has his name on like a thing in the stadium. Fresno State was ranked number 7 when David Carr was there, and like the Carr family is just huge in Fresno, and so I just think he has a lot of people that are just going to go to bat for him. I just don't think it's Derek. Maybe it could have been his wife, maybe. But I don't think it's Derek.
See, you bringing up his brother is funny, because that is actually what some of these Twitter police or Twitter FBI are putting together. That actually it might have been David's account. Yeah, that's that. If it's not Derek, they think it might be David. So okay, right down here. Okay,
it's David's account with Derek sitting right next to him. That's what's happening. It's his brother sitting next to him, going, "Hey, get this one, get this one." That's what's happening.
Right. So Devin, I need to hear. Okay, so just putting the two together, you got some evidence over there that was added to the case from Britt Johnson. All right, and we went over all the tweets and everything. I need to know: do you believe that this is his burner account, or do you think that this might be an obsessed fan, or his brother, or somebody else? This is serious.
I think that it is a burner account, and I think that the use of unusual emojis was purely intentional, because he didn't want it to seem too much like him. So I think it for sure was a burner account, especially the fact that the account is gone now. To me, that seems very, very suspicious. So I will go on record and say it is a burner account.
Yeah, see, putting all the evidence together, I see now knowing, because I don't follow Derek Carr, now knowing from Britt Johnson, who said that he uses emojis, I feel like the fact that he uses emojis leaves it open that he would use the football emoji. So I, as well, will be on the side where I believe that this is a burner account, but we will never know. We'll leave it up to the Twitter police and the Twitter FBI to figure this one out. So for now, the case is not closed, but we'll be back on this one. I don't know. Okay, we're moving on. Anyways, Derek Carr, you got more time than you deserve. So there you go, Derek Carr. Enjoy that. Now moving on to De'Aaron Fox, going back to the NBA, who is not allowed to just simply like a post about chicken, okay? He was just so excited about one of his homies or maybe not his homies, just somebody was tweeting something out about Raising Cane's, and he was just all about it because he likes Raising Cane's. Who doesn't like Raising Cane's? But Sacramento Kings have not been looking good in this. Not even just in the bubble. This season they've been very up and down after a pretty surprising season they had last year. Blah blah blah. So Kings fans are upset and they don't want De'Aaron Fox to have any fun. So they responded to De'Aaron Fox, who was just responding to this Raising Cane's tweet, and he went up to him and he said, "Y'all went 0-3, and all you give a f about is some chicken tenders," with a bunch of exclamation points. He's so pissed off. He is mad. How could you care about anything else? And his name is I'm not even gonna say his name. That's too much. Keep it simple, my guy. Well. To that, De'Aaron Fox simply responded to him saying, "All right, I'll tweet this guy and report out next time, ... Obviously saying that basically fans, whenever players are winning, they're only supposed to be talking about basketball because basketball is their entire life and they can't enjoy anything else. So boom, face, got him. No response from Kazam 12345, aka whatever his name was. I don't know, but this is weak. Talk about your Raising Canes, De'Aaron Fox. But your team is sucking pretty bad. So, I don't know. Enjoy the rest of your time in the bubble. And last but not least, we had a drone sighting. Now, somebody must be a very big Pirates or Twins fan to the point where they turned on their drone, went out there, and they said, "You know what? You ain't going to have me in the stands. I ain't got no cable. I ain't got no ESPN. Fine. I'm going to go find my own way to watch the game." Because there was a drone that was found overhead watching the game between the Pirates and Twins to the point where they had to delay the game to get the drone out of there. And I thought this was hilarious. I mean, it's not, because this dude's going to get in a lot of trouble because there are guidelines and this is definitely a no-fly zone. But, yep, the game was postponed. I don't know which side he was on. I mean, it is in Minnesota, so maybe he is a Twins fan. I don't know, but this is one way to try to get the game. And my man stayed there the entire time. He didn't even try to leave with his drone. I don't know if this was him. I don't know if this is the FBI. Hell, this could be Derek Carr. We don't know. I don't know who it is at this point. But that is it for me here on Post Up.
He should have flown his drone in the night before and landed it on like one of the big, like the Twins, and just let it sit there. Nobody would have noticed it.
Won't give him
and then he could have just watched. I'm just saying, think ahead.
The lens at the bottom.
Well, some of them have the lens at the bottom, but you can put it on the front though. I mean, you have to position it there and like tilt it up, but you can put it on the front, and you'd have to give it some sort of landing pad. All I've seen done before. But you could definitely do it. You just have to think ahead.
Look at Jack out here giving ideas. I feel like we're gonna see another one of these.
Virtual watch parties and stuff. Like, get it.
It's doable, guys. Just do it better next time.
Do it better.
Right.
All right. Well.
Do it better. That's all I'm saying. It's doable.
All right, you guys. Well, Jackie, take us into what we not gonna do. Yeah.
Okay, that was the quick version. All right, Devin, I see you. Okay, so look, what we're not going to do is have GOAT conversations. I'll let y'all argue the truth amongst yourself, but Devin and I know that LeBron James is a GOAT that's not up for debate. But what is up for debate is Allen Iverson. Now, Allen Iverson, I'm going to get to what he said in a minute, but I just need to recap, because back in, I think it was like 2018, he said that LeBron James was the greatest basketball player of his generation. And then he called Michael Jordan the Black Jesus. Okay. And I remember this specifically because in my head, I'm like, okay, first of all, we already know that Jesus was black. So why are you saying that? Number two, so now we're saying that Jesus is arrogant, mean, and have a gambling problem. Stop it. He's not the Black Jesus. Don't say that. But, he has his extra, and now he's out here on Fat Joe, who apparently has a show called something weird. I can't remember, but they put it on his Instagram. And now he's saying that LeBron James is the one. So take a look.
Much as I love Michael Jordan, man, LeBron James is the one, dog. He the one, man.
Now, I wouldn't argue this. I would leave it here and gloat in my own fashion. The problem is, a lot of people, y'all don't watch or read the whole thing. So 2 seconds later, he said this.
Kevin Durant is the one, man. The one.
He's different.
Who the one? Who is the one?
You the one. You the one.
Is it who the one? So I'm not going to entertain this. I think if we can have another debate, obviously between Michael Jordan and LeBron James. Obviously, I'm picking LeBron James. We haven't had the LeBron James and Kevin Durant conversation, so I'm not going to go to the LeBron hater. I know Chris doesn't care. So Devin, between KD and LeBron James, who is the GOAT?
It's not even a question, but wouldn't it be funny if I came out of this and was like, definitely KD? That would be such a shock.
I would say mute her mic.
You know how I feel about this. LeBron James is definitely the GOAT. KD, I mean, yes, he's a strong player. He's a great player. But I think if you look at just even beyond statistics, LeBron is such a good leader. He brings out the best in his teammates. KD's steady. He thrives in the moodiness. I mean, even that alone to me makes him not my GOAT. So LeBron James,
right.
The GOAT.
Yay, good answer. Good answer. See, that's what you do, kids. You go to the person who's going to answer things the way that you want. So now, since we're talking about the greatest of all time, personally, I think if there was a greatest of all time racist twat edition, my first nominee would go to the Donald. If you haven't watched the HBO special with Jonathan Swan, please do, because it is tragically hilarious and kind of scary, to be honest. But Jonathan Swan caught him in several lies, but he hasn't learned his lesson, because then shortly after, he told another lie to Fox and Friends regarding the NBA. He started off his tirade with his usual cueless concept of the flag and the anthem by saying, "We work with the NBA. We work with them very hard to try to get open. I was pushing for them to get open. Then I see everybody kneeling during the anthem. That's not acceptable to me. When I see them kneeling during the game, I just turn off the game. I have no interest in the game." I don't know if that was a good impression. I watched that whole interview, so I think I got that one. But so then after that, he told another lie. He said, "The ratings for basketball are way down, as you know. I hear some others are way down, including baseball. We have to stand up for our flag. We have to stand up for our country. A lot of people agree with me. They might, but they don't give a damn enough to stop watching basketball, because basketball is actually up 14% since the bubble restart." So he lied. That's not true. The ratings are not down at all. We have nothing else to do. Sports fans are definitely going to watch. He doesn't know sports fans at all, clearly. And I was going to go in because y'all know I got time, but I decided not to, because JJ Redick said it best. He said, "First of all, I don't think anybody in the NBA cares if President Trump watches basketball. I couldn't care less. As far as his base, I think regardless of the specificity of tweeting about the NBA, every tweet of his is meant to divide. Every tweet is meant to incite. Every tweet is meant to embolden his base." I'm not sure if half of his base even know what embolden means, but JJ Redick gets the gold star for me because I think he's spot on. He handled this with class. He spoke facts, unlike the Donald. So, Chris, I do have to ask you, though, with all the things going on in our country, in our world, I mean, even in our world, he could have commented about Beirut, for God's sakes. Why do you think he's so focused on the kneeling? And is his focus, obviously it's not justified, but why do you think he's so focused on players kneeling?
because this man just loves to talk about things that he just disagrees with, and then when he finds something that he disagrees with the most, he's going to center in on it, compared to, I don't know, probably worrying about what's actually important, leading our country. So this is just another one of those instances where the question was asked, and then it's like, I don't like that. Let's talk about this for a little bit more. I'm gonna make this a big deal. I'm gonna take it to my Twitter. And it's just like I cannot stand this dude. I am 150%, even more than that, with JJ Redick, because I could care less if he did watch the NBA or if he didn't, or his opinion. It just missed me with all that. That's not what you need to be worrying about. I feel like I say that more than you should say that about a president. I don't know, dude.
But like Britt said in the chat, if you are old enough, please make sure you register. Please make sure you vote. And please make sure you do your due diligence and read up on stuff before you just throw out willy-nilly votes, because we obviously have work to do. But with that said, it is time to move on, because it's time for Britt's Takes.
Britt's Takes.
All right, guys. I think we are going to low-key do a what we not going to do again on Britt's Take, because Colorado State is investigating their athletic department for allegedly telling their players to ignore the COVID-19 protocols. So what we're not going to do is tell the players to ignore the COVID-19 protocols, Colorado State. So all teams have been put under different protocols, as we know, based on their conference. So the ACC is doing different stuff than the Big 12 is, and the Big 10 is, and the Pac 12 is. They're all doing different things, right? Months ago, coaches kind of were complaining about the protocols that were put in place at the college level and at the NFL level too. Coach Harbaugh came out and said that, we're going to try our best to follow these protocols, but there's some that just aren't really realistic and they're kind of impossible to enforce all of them. We'll do our best, blah, blah, blah. So coaches had came out and said that they had issues with some of the protocols. We came out and said some of the things were just silly in football because there's no reason to have the lockers 6 feet apart when you then go out into a football field and you play football. We saw, I think it was the Denver Broncos earlier this week, they have a mister that they sanitize the players with as they're walking onto the field. So I know different teams have tried different things that they're doing in order to, abide by these protocols and whatever they can do to best make sure the players stay safe. The number one thing, though, has been the testing. That is one thing that the NFL and college football can do in order to make sure that they're just not spreading it. And once they find out a player has it, that they're removing that player and making them quarantine. So Colorado State back on July 20th actually had 0 players test positive for COVID. But, according to them, I'll get into that in a second. But on Sunday, they had 11 players on the football team test positive and 5 more of the staff members as well on Sunday. So I spoke to this part yesterday. So basically, the players have been told by some of the athletic department leaders, they said, that they were discouraged to take the test. They were told, hey, don't take the test or don't try to opt out for the season because it's going to affect your future playing time with the team. I kind of talked about this yesterday when I was saying that players, don't really have options to really opt out. There is technically an option there, but they're going to be threatened with their position if they do so. And the players at Colorado State came out and said that their higher ups were basically threatening them to not even just don't opt out, but also don't get tested for it. There were players that told ESPN that some of their position coaches said if they had symptoms of COVID-19, like if they were getting a scratchy throat or felt like they were getting a fever or whatever the case is, or had a cough, to do their best to hide those symptoms because, and I quote, we can't afford it. So there have been coaches actually, not all the coaches, but some of the coaches and the players and some staff members have all came out and spoke with ESPN about this situation and said that there were some of the coaches, which in that case was some of the position coaches, and there were some of the athletic department leaders. They didn't say who, but some of the leaders in the athletic department were basically telling players to not test. They were also not providing accurate information. They were failing, reportedly, they were failing to report and provide accurate information to local and state officials about the results they did get from players that had tested positive for COVID. So who even knows if the July 20th one was actually 0 tests. They just said there were 0 tests and they were reportedly hiding some tests that were testing positive and telling players if they had symptoms to just kind of act like they didn't. This isn't really something new that we see in football. There's plenty of times where football players are put into a spot where just act like your ankle okay so we can win this game. Just act like you don't really have a concussion. I'm going to say you don't have this and that. And they put players at risk all the time. This is nothing new for college, high school, Pop Warner, and NFL football. Like, this happens across the board where players are put in situations where they are supposed to, quote unquote, risk it all for the team, for the betterment of the team, because like the position coaches at Colorado State feel is, we can't afford to lose you, buddy. So you're just going to have to fight through it. It's a little bit different now with COVID-19, you would think, but no, it's still the same thing. It's the same culture in these locker rooms that have been since the beginning of time, where people have to fake the funk or act like they're not hurt or just get some shot in their knee to make it through the game, basically, and then can't walk the rest of the week to their own classes or whatever the case is. So I think it's really, I'm not surprised that it's happening with COVID, because it's always happened in football with even, we know how bad concussions are. And for years, there were players that I knew personally that fought through and pretended like they did not have concussions and knew different ways to pass concussion protocols so they could play. And it's because they were always set with the mindset that you're not a man if you don't suck it up and play. So the president of the school, who is a female, and I usually believe that female leaders are a little bit more sane sometimes, not all the time, but I just think females get it right most of the time when they're leading because they actually do the right thing. The president said that she couldn't believe this information when she found it out. Originally, it was told to ESPN. They had players and coaches and staff members tell it to ESPN, and then ESPN reported the story, and that's how the president found out about it. She didn't know about it prior to this moment. Obviously, nobody's on campus at the schools besides the athletic department, so she didn't really know a ton about what was actually going on inside the locker rooms, which nobody does. I don't expect her to know about these little situations that are happening in locker rooms, but she said she couldn't believe it when she found it out, and she would protect any athlete that came out with information, and said that she is actually moving forward only speaking to the players for the upcoming season. So if the players basically don't feel safe with the season, there won't be a season. She's not going to talk to the athletic director. She's not going to talk to the coaches. She's only going to talk to the players and see if the players feel safe playing during the season. If the players say they don't feel safe, there won't be a season, regardless of what the athletic director and what the coaches say. The head coach and the athletic director both came out and said in similar statements that they support the investigation and will do anything to keep the players safe. Neither one of them was actually directly mentioned. It was athletic department leaders, so I don't know if that includes the athletic director in that, but he came out and said that he would do anything to make sure, and he supports the investigation, but who knows. And then again, all the players said it wasn't the head coach. The head coach was actually one of the people that was reporting that there was some issues going on when he found out some of the players were told to lie about COVID-19 symptoms. But one of the players came out on Twitter and said this whole thing is a bold-faced lie. Leo, I don't know if you have that tweet, if you can throw it up. Trey McBride said, "This is completely inaccurate. The coaches have done a tremendous job at keeping the health of the players and staff a top priority. The plan they have to keep the players safety should be safe in the center, very inaccurate." So that's one player. I think there was one more player that had something to say about it, but I know depending on what position you are, if players are saying it's their position coach, maybe it's not his position coach that's saying it. And nobody said it was all the coaches. Nobody said it was the whole entire athletic department. But clearly, if enough players came out and told ESPN this, there's some kind of problem here. But like I said, schools in this kind, I am not surprised. Like, I think this is happening not just at Colorado State. I think this is probably happening across the board, especially after big schools like LSU and Clemson had 30 plus players test positive for COVID. I think schools are trying to like get around it, or, you know, kind of like, well, you ain't that sick. You're all right, buddy. You'll be okay. And whatever. One of the coaches came out and said anonymously that he was like, well, I'm not just going to send the kid to go get a COVID test every time they have a tickle in their throat. That's not productive to the team or whatever. But I mean, if the kid feels like he might be sick and you don't want to get other players sick, you actually know that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to send him to go get a test so he doesn't spread it to the rest of the team. So I am not surprised about this. Chris, I want to know, do you think this is happening all over the place right now at the collegiate level and also possibly at the NFL level? Do you think it would get to a point where, you know, NFL teams might be trying to hide out on some tests because they don't want to be the league that has 10 players test positive?
No, we've talked about this before. I 100% believe that these are just the cases that are out. You know what I'm saying? I feel like this is something that if it's not already happening, we're going to be hearing more about, especially at the collegiate level. I think we have the possibility of that on the NFL level. I mean, look what happened in Minnesota, you know, so I just feel like this is something that it's just going to be so hard to gauge. I don't know how many times I could say that. And I feel like I'm, you know, beating a dead horse, but it's just going to be something that's going to be so hard engaging, like you said, in football culture, not even just NFL, not just collegiate. In football culture, you have an injury, you are programmed. I'm used the word program to, suck it up. Like you said, shoot it up or, massage it, walk it off and go and play. That's just what it is. And I feel like they're going to do the same thing with something as serious as this pandemic that's going on. So, no, this doesn't surprise me. And I do definitely believe that even though we probably have not heard any other cases from any other schools, I'm sure that there are other schools that are probably not like a Colorado State or like a LSU that are probably going through similar issues just the same out there right now, which is probably unfortunate. But it doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, unfortunately. And I think this kind of all started with UCLA, because UCLA actually had their players come out and say, we want to do our own, we want a different medical staff to come in here because we don't trust that even if we got positive results from our, athletic people, that they would tell us we're positive, and they didn't trust how the system was going to work. They didn't trust that they were going to do everything possible to make sure that the players were safe. So I think that's just another example of something that probably a lot of schools or a lot of athletes are feeling across the nation. It's pretty crazy.
Yes, super crazy.
All right. Yeah. Well, before I get out of here, you guys, I wanted to say I am so excited because, again, we get to talk about the Equal Justice Initiative. Thank you guys so much for all your donations. It is an incredible nonprofit organization that provides legal aid and assistance to those most in need. For example, there is a man named Charles Chapman that would have benefited tremendously from what the Equal Justice Initiative does. He served 27 years in a Texas prison for a rape he did not commit. He was proven innocent by DNA testing and freed in early 2008. He was 20 years old when he was arrested in 1981, so 47 years old on the day of his release. Chapman was charged with aggravated rape and tried by a jury in Dallas on August 12th and 13th, 1981. Chapman has said he saw his attorney once before the trial and eventually called him after waiting 7 months in prison without any news. Chapman's attorney presented testimony that Chapman had been working at a maintenance company on the night of the crime, but of course, because his attorney didn't do much, Chapman's work log was not presented into evidence, which actually could have exonerated him at that moment. Chapman was convicted and sentenced to 99 years in prison. Once DNA evidence was later tested, Chapman's exoneration became official and all charges against him were dismissed on February 26, 2008. He served 26 years in prison, you guys, 7 months in jail for a crime he did not commit. So again, I talked to you guys before about this DNA testing and how much this money actually goes to that and just effective representation for these people. A lot of times people are getting public defenders who have, 80 to 100 cases in their hands. And like this situation showed, he spoke with his attorney once before the trial and once during his 7 months in jail before he ended up getting convicted. So a lot of times these public defenders just don't have the means to, be around their clients and talk to their clients and get the evidence needed to make them free. So the money you donate for Equal Justice Initiative helps get people the effective representation that they need. If you guys want to learn more about the movement, make sure that you go to eji.org. Again, you can donate by Super Chat, or we have a link where you can donate as well. Anything is appreciated. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you so much, Britt. You guys go ahead and go to eji.org for more information. Donate if you can, and we'll be doing this throughout the week as usual. Also, we're going to be back again tomorrow at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, so make sure you tune in. Just tap that bell so you get a notification when we're going live. Subscribe, leave a comment below, share this video with your friends, wash your hands, wear a mask. And maybe don't start like a weird burner account because we'll figure it out. We are detectives on the loose. See you guys.
Please start the burner account.
Bye, guys.
Ooh.